Cool. So, uh, hi Bjorn, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me and Silver Tiger today. It's hugely appreciated. Um, this is actually a pretty big deal for me. I've been listening to In Flames since I was about 15. A friend gave me soundtrack to Your Escape,
Oh
and
wow.
it's just been one of the albums I keep throwing on. Only for the Week was one of the first songs that I ever learned on guitar. So this is a
Hmm.
pretty big fan moment for myself. So it's even more appreciated to meet you and chat. Um, but I guess on that, how does it feel to be doing In Flames for 30 years and still being an influence on the metal scene worldwide? You know,
Well,
just
the part of the part of being an influence is I really don't have an answer to that. But how it feels to be part of this band is it's fantastic, and the thing is, it only gets more and more fun.
well, yeah,
It's always been absolutely crazy, being able to play the music you love in front of people that seem to appreciate what you do, with people that are extremely talented, and and doing that for a living. Just imagine, it's crazy,
well, that's
and
it.
it's sometimes you have to pinch yourself a little bit, right? And the cool thing is that it just keeps getting more and more fun, especially the live side of things. I mean, the lineup that we have now, we've had an incredible lineup throughout our whole careers, right?
Well, yeah.
Everybody who's been part of this has been extremely good at what they do, and extremely important to the development and the sound of In Flames. So it's just taken us to where we are now with this lineup, and it's incredible. They're extremely talented, and I just laugh when I get on stage with them, because okay, it's ridiculous.
It
They
always
make me
feels
sound
like a good
really good.
time.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
But yeah, speaking of lineups, do you still talk to the old guys, say from like Halo Effect, and now that they've sort of kicked off their little project and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of them. I talk to Jesper every now and then. We text a little bit.
Yeah.
Peter, obviously, we have a restaurant together. Actually, a couple of restaurants together. So, of course, yeah, we try to keep in contact. Some of us, and it's just natural thing, I think, too. I mean, when it always sucks when a member leaves a band,
Of
no
course.
matter how you twist and turn it, because I mean, you have been spending a lot of time together, been through so much, experienced so much together. So it is literally like, in a way, breaking up or something like that, right? Or losing. I wouldn't say losing a family member, but it's
Yeah.
that feeling.
No,
So
that's
so many
fair.
memories together, yeah. But the thing with In Flames is that it's always been sort of rejuvenated with whoever comes in and covers up,
Yeah.
because the reasons why most of the people have quit this, I mean, life happens, and you might have different focuses in your life where you just feel like you can't be away all the time. And In Flames is a heavy touring band, and that's what we do and what we want to do.
Mm.
So it doesn't fit everyone. But so when these people leave, those dudes leave, there's always been somebody who's really keen on touring or really keen on being part of this, and that's always rejuvenated us. So
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
it's almost like the family is just expanding. It's hopefully not losing too many, but
No, of course.
just
And you've just had
expanding.
Chris join officially from what I've read recently. So, that's a new In Flames family member.
Yeah, I mean, we've known Chris for 20 years, all of us, almost, even the past members. Most of these guys know Chris since a long, long time. I mean, we toured together, back when he was in Jack Panzer, and then later on with Nevermore,
Yeah.
and obviously with Megadeth.
Yeah, of course.
Never toured with Act of Defiance, but I mean, he's an extremely good guitar player, like one of my favorites, and he's a really, really cool dude that we've known for a long time. So having him part of this is just amazing.
That's actually one project I wish that had come to Australia, Acts of Defiance. That would have been
Yeah,
wicked.
yeah. Oh no, it's really good, and I mean, he's the mastermind behind that. So you can
Cool.
see a lot of guitar playing and everything. It's really, really good.
Yeah, and just before I move on to the more current things, just do you have any favorite In Flames album that you've sort of worked on or written?
Me,
Yeah. Do you
all
have
of
a
them.
favorite, from, that you've sort of, I guess, yeah, worked on?
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
they all tell a story, but like, is there
yeah.
something that stands out?
I think at the time when you record them, like you write and record them,
Yeah,
it's it's the best thing you've ever done. It will be, because it's hopefully it sums up everything you've learned from the last one and the previous one, all that. So you hopefully take that with you into creating something better,
yeah, of
each
course.
time. And they're all been unique. All these recordings, obviously, with the different members, different producers, different studios, different countries, totally different settings, different logistics, everything. This is the 14th album, so we've
Yeah,
had a lot of time to explore,
it's
you know, and,
unreal. Like 14 is,
yeah.
incredible.
So, but I think the last three there's a reason why we come back to Los Angeles to record.
Yeah, cool.
Uh, it's good for us to get away from any distractions here in Sweden.
Hmm.
And it's also always nice weather in Los Angeles, and you can't say that about Sweden.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
yeah, so having that time alone, me and Anders just starting off the writing session usually has been a really good recipe for us to be very well prepared.
Yep.
Going to the studio, which it's more like an organic continuation of the writing session, really.
So you
Uh,
guys predominantly do, like, you guys would do the writing and the demoing before hitting the studio? Is like that's the influence?
well, it sort of grows into the studio time, so we
Yep.
do a little bit of it. Like for Forgone, for instance, we went as soon as we could go over to the US. That was, I think, November 21. We jumped on the first plane basically, and we sat there for 2-3 weeks and just figured out. We weren't really planning on making a record. We were still touring on I the Mask when the pandemic hit. We
Yeah.
barely started touring on I the Mask, so obviously we were still in that mode when all that shit happened.
Mm.
So we weren't really in a hurry to make a record at all. I didn't feel like it because I couldn't see any live shows or anything.
Yeah.
But I think it was pushing a little bit because he felt like something. I mean, we could use some of this time now we have to and see what happens, right? And we did,
That's
and
it.
it turned out great. It was awesome seeing the guys again after the whole pandemic shit and meeting Howard. So we did that for a couple of weeks right before Christmas 21, and then it felt so good. So we came back in January already, right after the holidays, and continued writing, and that slowly turned into a recording process with Howard involved and Mike Plotnikov and all those guys. So
That's
it's
unreal.
yeah. So it's a really good experience, and it's been like that sort of the last three records, and
Yeah.
those
Did
are
Chris?
probably my
Sorry.
favorite experiences recording, I would say.
Yeah, of course. Did Chris get to play a part in writing on Forgone, or was that, does like his flavor, I guess, is added onto it at some point? But was he there for I guess, the writing process as well?
No, the writing process is sort of what I mentioned there. It's like usually it starts with my riffs, melodies, or a drum beat, or something like that, or it
Yeah.
could be a couple of words put together by Anders that just spark something, right? But it's usually I wouldn't say that I'm a control freak, but I'm very very particular with the music.
Yeah.
I have a hard time compromising, and I think a lot of songwriters do.
No,
I
of
mean,
course.
since we tend to write what we want to hear and what we want to play,
Well,
or
that's
good or
right.
bad. Yeah,
You're right.
but
For you.
it gives us longevity, and it makes it fun for us, and it makes us also honest, I would say, and true
Well, that's
in
it.
a way. So
And
so no, I didn't. Chris didn't participate in the songwriting. I'm not shutting that door at all for any of the members. They're all extremely, extremely good.
of
Tanner
course.
and Bryce too. They're all very good at what they do, and they're all songwriters. So
I just
we'll
love
see
it.
how the future goes. But for this one, it was. I asked Chris early if he wanted to maybe lay down a solo or two because he's a phenomenal shredder, and he was really happy to do that and made me super happy, obviously. So I
Yeah.
got to record Chris most of his solos on the record, and it's quite a few actually, and they're incredible, all of them. So
Well, that's it. It was
very
just
proud.
more of a timing thing that I was just more curious of as to, that sort of crossover
Yeah.
from touring to
Hmm.
November. But you said that, you're originally the In Flames drummer as well. Was that right?
Well, yeah. Well, let's all right. Let's
You
put it like
dabbled on
this.
a few of those albums.
Yeah,
Did,
I played drums on two of them,
that's
and I
it.
joined the band as a drummer. I mean, my cousin was really, really good friends and a childhood friend of Jesper's. And he was telling me about this band. They were awesome and everything. And I think I got to hear demos early, but I was busy doing other stuff. And then eventually, Jesper was playing drums back in the day. And I think he would admit to he was not very good at drums. And I came in and I suck at drums too, but I sucked a little bit less. I didn't, it was.
There's nothing wrong with Warrigal. It's a good album.
Yeah, it turned out great. Great songs on there, and it was a great experience doing Gestorace and Oracle. Gestorace was my first real recording session.
That's still one of my favorite In Flames albums.
It was obviously, I have a lot of memories. Well, the times I can remember between all the drinking, but it was we had 11 days, and that included the mix and everything. So it was a very brief thing, but we were rehearsing back then. We don't nowadays. We play so much live, we didn't back then. So it's a kind of a trade-off. But so we were kind of prepared when we got to the studio. Great experiences. But yeah, I was playing drums because that was the position offered, and I happened to suck a little bit less than the other guys.
Do you still play or write the drums? In Flames?
No drums. I program everything, right? Yeah. And I put like emphasis on the importance, like the stuff that I think needs to be a certain way because of the riffs.
Yeah, of course.
But most of the time I leave everything open for we have such good drummers. Our Tanner now is incredible. Yeah, he's not only solid, he's extremely creative, and he hits perfectly, and I can't tell you enough how good he is. Yeah, so it would be stupid of me to it would be stupid of me to dictate exactly what he should play.
Of course,
because he's such a good drummer. And the same goes for Bryce. I'm not a bass, I know how to play it, but I'm not a bass player,
Yeah,
so it's really important to have these dudes put the actual sound on there. I'm not a drummer. That's the extent of my drumming is programming. I play a little bit with friends here, covers and shit like that.
No, it's a probably, whether your newer fans knew that, you were one of the early drummers of the band as well. It's just one of those little known facts that me and my mates always get into. But, it's only, what, two weeks till Forgone actually comes out. So then it's just in time for you guys to hit Knotfest and tour over here. So how are you feeling on that?
Extremely happy. We met right before the pandemic. We flew all the way to New Zealand for a show, and then we were supposed to do Australia. And when we got to remember that. Yeah, and we got to New Zealand, they shut down the country. It's like, holy crap! We went all this way just to have a couple of drinks and then fly back home. And so that's literally what happened. We didn't make it over because we didn't want to get stuck there for months.
Well,
we didn't know. Yeah. And we wanted to get home to families and stuff. Things were getting pretty rough, So, so it was a good thing. We made it home, but we missed out on playing New Zealand for the first time, and also Australia again, which we love. But now it's happening, so we're extremely happy. Very, very happy.
Pretty keen. It's a pretty solid lineup. I'm keen as hell to see you guys play, alongside with Parkway and Trivium and all those.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be
it's a great lineup, and it's something we've been looking forward to quite a lot. So.
So is there any sort of, hint of a sort of an In Flames solo tour coming up for Australia as well as this one, or is that on the cards?
Given that we haven't really talked about. Yeah, we haven't really gotten that far in our planning yet because we didn't really plan on making this record. We were still touring on Hide the Mask, right? So, but Australia is definitely one of those. It's a huge country. It's got several cities we really should play. And we just haven't done headline runs there for so long, for the longest time, and it's absolutely something that are in the cards. I just don't know when yet.
Yeah, no,
it's we love being down there, so it's absolutely going to happen. Just not sure when yet.
No, that's fair. And being over here, is there anything you sort of want to do on the sides if you've got the free time, like being in Australia, sites to check out, food?
Yeah, everything about it. It's literally the other side of the world for us. So it's everything is excellent. The people are fantastic. The climate, the weather when we've been there has been incredible. It's like being on sunny vacation every time we're there.
Well, hopefully it's the same for you this
And
time.
the audience is amazing. So it's everything everything you love about it. There's a lot of sightseeing to do. There's tons of places to be and just to experience. So yeah, looking forward to all that.
No, we're keen as hell to see you. But I guess just before wrapping up, I've got a bit of a side question for you because I understand you're a bit of a gamer. So,
Oh yeah,
Horde or Alliance?
Horde, obviously,
Good choice. Do you have a favorite
Yeah.
race or
Since
character?
I actually you'd be I have so many characters. It's ridiculous. I have every race and every class, everything. I got
Yeah.
everything. I played it basically since I think 2006 maybe.
Yeah.
Or so it's right. I joined. I started playing with my friends. Say 6 months before the first expansion.
Yeah, right.
I managed to get to 60 right at the time the expansion dropped. So
That's so good. Have you had a chance to play the new one yet?
Yeah. Dragonblight. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I played a lot. I think my favorite so far has been playing the Hunter.
Yeah, no.
I like the Beast Mastery thing. It's fairly not complicated rotations and stuff like that. The mechanics are fairly straightforward.
Are you a
And
raider or do you PvP?
I don't really PvP. I get fucking pissed when I get so it's like literally I've thrown out monitors like
That's brilliant.
keyboard and shit like that. So I'd rather not PvP. I kind of like the steady pace. That's why I have so many characters. I have to delete characters now in order to start new ones.
That's cool.
But I kind of like the exploring and the leveling part of things, right? So I haven't played super much of the end game stuff. I've been doing a little bit of raiding, but mostly it's like dungeons. But the actual leveling I find really cool. Then you get to know your character, all the mechanics and rotations and everything like that. I like that.
I couldn't help myself being a bit of a WoW nerd. So, I knew
Yeah.
It was just like I've been wanting to ask. But I guess, finally I get before wrapping things up, what are the essentials for you and the band when you go on tour? So I take it a laptop is one of yours.
Yeah, a laptop, usually a gaming station. I even bought a pretty big screen that I had set up all the time in the bus on the last run, to everybody's annoyance. But it was awesome. I could play Dragonblight, right when it got released, everything on the road. So that was fantastic. Yeah, so that's one thing. I always have my iPad. I do a lot of drawing and stuff with Procreate on that one. I read a lot.
That's cool.
Besides that, I'm fairly easy. I pack usually a backpack for a 2-month tour. That's enough.
No, that's killer. Well, I can't wait to catch you guys live at Knotfest, just probably like the rest of Australia. So thank you again for taking the time to have a chat with me and even answering my WoW question. That's just brilliant. Like that's hugely
yeah, that's actually super exciting to talk about. But thanks so much for having me. Yeah, we can't wait to get down there. So we're extremely excited.
No, thank you again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Will do. Thank you so much. You
Catch
too.
you later.
All right. Bye-bye.